Should be working now. Alright, so we're just talking to Tani and figuring out, Finn is trying to ask her how she's doing.
Yeah. Okay, in this place, we saw each of our memories. Well, not memories, but things that marked us, I guess. And what I saw, I think, did really happen.
Right.
And suddenly I want to know about my past. Because, well, you know me. I was about to say I don't usually get confused, but who am I kidding? I do get confused at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this chance that maybe by knowing who I was, maybe I'll understand, or I don't know. I want to know what I did. I don't want to live with blank memories from my past. And so these days, well, we went to a place and I saw more stuff and I had a dream and it's been rough. It's been rough. Um, and
Yeah.
also, well, with the voice that I was hearing, well, we sorted that out.
That
So
was the
you don't
dream
have to be
thing.
worried about that.
That was when you had that dream, right?
When
When
we
you,
were unconscious and
yeah.
they went for us, yes, we
Okay.
we figured that out. That's no longer a problem, I think. Um, but
He's he looks at you very intently, listening to all this, and he will ask you first, what did you dream, Tani?
well, it was about well, maybe I don't remember much either of what you saw when I started coming, or how I started coming into your inn those years ago. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was about the well, I guess you must know. It was about the the incredible power that my cult was following. Well, I don't want to say mine. It was a dream about that,
Okay.
and and that
Did she speak to you?
yeah, you even know that
You see him kind of look away like, shit.
how much
Um,
do you know?
and he looks back at you, and you see he looks sad most of all. He just looks terribly, terribly
Motherfucker.
sad. Tony, you made me promise never to say a word.
Did I?
Yeah. Look, what I know is not much, but I know that when we met, you didn't spend days sleeping on the floor here before I let you in. Um, I met you through Miss Gold. She was helping you get better, become a better person. But to do that, you had to, as I understand it, make some significant sacrifices, which included forgetting a lot of your old life. Now, you chose to do this, so I don't know if you want to go back or if you want to leave that buried, probably where it belongs. But you did choose to become a better person. Um, I don't know much of those days. I just promised Miss Gold that I'd look after you until you're back on your feet, which you are now. But the choice is yours. If you want, I can point you in one direction that might give you some answers. But please think about it before you ask me to break your confidence.
Did I really do this to myself? Well, did I?
You didn't hurt
Did I choose to
yourself.
forget like this?
Yeah,
Was it really me?
you did choose this. It's because I think you knew a lot of secrets that could be very dangerous, and the only way to bury those secrets forever was to forget. So Miss Gold helped you forget find a way, I think, to store away those memories so that only you could ever get to them again. Just in case, I suppose. But I think your intent was that no one should ever see them again. And he kind of reaches out and he like tries to grab your hand a little bit just to give you reassurance.
So like I let him for a few seconds, but I do like want to keep to myself.
Hmm.
The voice said, "Harold, you have returned to me," and then said something about me being incomplete, and I will be whole again. And I felt this thing in my chest. I was gasping for air. It felt like there was a hole in my heart where something should be. Is that what the voice meant? Is the voice saying that I'll someday return?
He gets up and he tries to get your attention. Like he tries to put his hands on your shoulder if you let him.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, shh, just look at me. Look at me. Whatever is in your past is still in the past. Alright? Just stay calm. Stay grounded. You're here now. You have choice. You have choices plentiful ahead of you. Whatever this was, whatever it may mean, you choose how you deal with it. Alright?
But now what do I do? Do I
That's
do
up
I
to
want to
you.
know now? Do I want to say the words in that place that'll help investigate what all this is? Is that it? Will that help stop this cult? Because I'm not sure if I want. I'm not sure if I want them to continue existing.
Tony, I can't give you those answers. You know, there are people out there very much dedicated to eradicating evil, especially things like this. And there are others who would rather just pretend it doesn't exist. And neither is a wrong choice. But you have to consider this in full and what it might mean for you, and then choose. And I don't think you can make this choice alone. If these are your friends, then you've got to talk to them as well, because it will affect them one way or another.
So far, Jean-Jacques has been asking how I'm doing, and I've had these talks with him, and he's been asking me if I'm sure I want to know. But I think, yeah, I'll have to ask them, because now I'm suddenly not sure. And
Alright.
I feel betrayed by my own self. And I'm also feeling super betrayed by these people that it's their fault that I had to do this.
Perhaps. He just looks at you thoughtfully for a moment, and he says, all I know is what Miss Gold told me, which is that you did an incredibly brave thing, choosing to be other than you were. So whatever judgment you want to visit on your old self, maybe don't be too harsh if you don't know the full truth,
Do,
which you never
do
have
you
to learn
think,
if you don't want to.
do you think if I talk with Miss Gold, she will tell me also? At least a little bit? At
She'll
least
point you in
why?
the right direction, but things like this is usually something that you'll have to discover on your own. But she can certainly help you.
I have no idea, Fran.
The only thing that I can tell you, and I'll give you a name of someone that you can speak to if you want to find out more.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Aithne Deosilimon. I'll write it in the chat. But Aithne used to come with you a little bit. She was a friend of yours or something. I saw you meet with her once. Here. I believe that she's still at the university here. I think an assistant professor is her position.
Do you know if she was part of it? Or she was just an outside friend?
I don't know that, but it's the only person that I know is connected to your old life that might know you. Because you told me never to let you near her ever again.
What was she like?
I didn't meet her in that great detail. But you both were, back then, you seemed very self-assured to me. Very knowledgeable and intelligent and on point. And it's not to say that you're none of those things now, but it was different. You were someone with a purpose.
Does the I don't know.
Look,
I'm
that's
confused
all
about
I
the whole
know.
thing, but if I say the name Sabila, does that ring a bell? Could she be Sabila? Because I remember there was this friend in that memory thing. And
Doesn't
that memory, I didn't continue the torture, but I think I did continue in real life. Well, maybe it's not her.
He looks, worried, but he says, it's not a name that's familiar to me. Honestly, Tani, I came in at the very end. I became your shepherd for your new self. I know you the way you are now. Sweet and kind and good and driven. But who you were back then? That's for you to choose if you want to discover. If you think it's important enough.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it.
I'll ask Miss Gold to come. So you can speak with her.
But did you become this friend, this guardian, just because Miss Gold asked you, or just because you really wanted to?
Well, at the time I didn't know you, but I knew Miss Gold very well. I know her a great deal. And I knew that if she was asking me to do this, then you were worth helping. And ever since, I've never regretted it. In fact, I would consider you one of my very closest friends in the world. So don't think that whatever this might have started in, that it affects our friendship now. Alright?
Alright.
Come on. And he he attempts to offer a hug.
Yep. And I take it and
Alright. It's like this,
I cling to it a little longer than...
Very, very, very strong hug from the former barbarian dwarf. And then he lets you go, and he steps aside a little bit, and he looks over to your friends, who you guys have been sitting at the table, have probably noticed that they've been having a more intense conversation than might have been initially indicated, even though it's not clear about what. And he says, well, you know what? I'm going to get back to work. I suggest you talk to your friends and see what's what. But I'm around.
Calm myself down.
Alright. Slaps you on the shoulder a little too hard.
Yeah. Gonna be fine, I guess.
Alright. So, I guess you return to the table?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I'll take this time after we spoke to just give everybody a little bit of information and just say, last night while Turnock, you were talking to your friend and the rest of you were looking after Tani, I spoke to RB for a little bit, and he's in a pinch of trouble, so he won't quite be able to help us to the extent that I was hoping with our business here in the city, but he can still help with some of it. In exchange, he is hoping for a little bit of protection. There are some folks after him that are trying to relieve him of his mortal coil, and he'd like us to just be around to stop them if it came to this. He expects to be done with his business here in the city in a few days, and until then he primarily just asked to stick around and have us have his back if it comes to a fight.
Yep.
What we get out of this... Did somebody want to ask something? Yeah. What we get out of this is an introduction, and I kind of look around, make sure that nobody's eavesdropping, scope the area.
Okay. Want to make a perception check just for the for posterity?
It's a 12.
Okay.
It's my passive perception. Anyway.
There's almost no one in the tavern, so thankfully, you feel pretty confident that no one's paying attention.
So he'll be able to give us an introduction with the DeLuca family. He has some ties with them, and I think turned out this might have been before your time, so I'll loop you in. The
Again.
DeLuca family is the opposite to the Scarlet Rose we've been talking about in past days. So, according to RB, the Scarlet Rose, for the past several months, and perhaps even more, has taken over the majority of the criminal underground of Pastitia. Something they were not in a position to do necessarily, which is the interesting bit. I know of them, and I've heard of them at least, and RB confirmed this as more of a freelancer of sorts, not affiliated with the actual organization, a specialist that would perform kidnappings or breaking and entering on occasion for the top bidder. So they were not necessarily a captain or anything like that in any of the criminal families in the city. So the fact that he actually rose to power to such an extent and then afterwards managed to subjugate the rest of the organizations is intriguing, to say the least. He's done so by way of bribery and promises of power and boons and gifts, but also by way of blood. Anybody who did not bend the knee had their hamstrings cut, so to say. At least that's what I understand. Well, maybe that's a bit colorful. So what we are looking to do with the DeLuca family, Turnock, is to get together with the other side and see if they have any clue why. The reason being is that, amongst other things that we found in the vault in Epirata's chambers, was a letter to somebody titled SR from Pastitia that she was working with. And we surmised this was likely the Scarlet Rose, which, after coming here and seeing what the hell is happening, I'm inclined to believe. Which means that this person is involved in some form of plot or larger organization that's taken hold over more than we even anticipated when it comes to the powers of the Republic.
Noted. Added to the list of 1 million missions that we have to achieve.
Yeah. Well, this one I hope ties into our other missions. To be honest, it's more of a waypoint, so to say, because as we know, it is likely that at least an affiliate of the Scarlet Rose was involved in the attempted murder or kidnapping of Lord Storm, and I hope that we can find more out about why. What I come to understand is that even though they wear the red sashes, they're not necessarily directly involved with the Scarlet Rose themselves, who's a mysterious figure, by the way. Nobody knows who they are. It is more that the various organizations have sworn fealty and wear this sash as a means of displaying that fealty, but they still operate independently. So it's possible that one of these organizations took up a contract against Lord Storm, but they simply appear to be wearing the red sashes because they're at least inadvertently tied. Scarlet Rose controls these various factions through, I think, 4 lieutenants or captains who sort of run the day-to-day and report back to him. All of these lieutenants are allegedly or reportedly very powerful individuals in their own right, and would probably be significant challenges for us to deal with, not to mention the fallout of confronting them directly.
Well, I hope that investigating on this will also lead us to more answers regarding perhaps the murders that were taking place. And by the way, do you remember Clement, that half elf at the brothel that
Mhm.
Master Ko was defending? His brother went missing as well,
Okay.
and that's why he was, on that state of mind that we found him in. So just keep that in mind. Perhaps while investigating these things, we might stumble upon a clue. Master Ko gave me some. They gave me some directions on uh, where he was last seen, and well, we may be able to start with that. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have already more conclusive lead to any of this, but it's a good starting point if you don't.
Yeah, certainly. I just think we need to make sure that before the annual ball comes around, we
Mm-hmm.
please try and get some information, because all of these other things, while important, are not necessarily to do with our contract. And I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that we must pay that sufficient mind,
Mm-hmm.
as a lot hinges on our maintained relationship with both the freelancers and its various benefactors.
Yes, yes. Just a comment. Also, Master K will be at the ball.
Interesting.
Not as a guest, let's put it like that. And but he won't be there attending to our agenda. So we might have an ally if things go too much sideways. But he
Hmm.
will be pursuing his own goal, which aligns to mine, but not with ours as a group. Um, so just for you to have that in mind.
Understood.
All right. So I would imagine at this point probably Tanya rejoins the table. You guys having caught each other up a little bit. Um, before anyone can say anything, Finn actually comes hurrying over with some drinks, and he goes like, "Really sorry about this, guys, but actually last night someone came in with a message for, I'm guessing, Ashen Hearts. That's you folks, right? Um, Here you go." And he just hands you a letter, which seems to be on official freelancer stationery.
Okay.
So
Barnack.
So you open the letter. It's very short. It just says, "Hey guys, comma, what's up? Question mark. I'm really sad that you haven't come by yet. Please do. Best regards, Mr. Silver." And you see the address, and it's the freelancer headquarters here in the city.
Mr. Silver is not necessarily a name that we know, is it?
No, but
No.
I think that those of you, I mean, whoever is more familiar with freelancer structure, he's the taskmaster here. So
Um, who was when we asked Taskmaster Horn? He said a name or maybe two. When we asked him who the new overseer might be,
right.
did he mention Silver?
No, definitely
Or
not
no?
Silver, because the thing is, they've been, over the past week or so, they've been gathering in Watchhold to choose the new one, and Silver
Yeah.
isn't even there. He's still here handing out contracts. He's not, from inferences, you can probably deduce that he is not the most politically motivated. He just holds his post and seems to be
Yeah.
quite
The
content
way
there.
he writes as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're summoned. We got summons to go and say hi to Mr. Silver, the taskmaster of this city.
All right. Well,
Let's do that tomorrow after the. Well, we already have an appointment for this evening, and I know that you guys are not accustomed to these sorts of environments, but perhaps showing up in good energy, high spirits, and you know, not rushing between any type of contact, mission, contract, or whatever quest you guys find in the way of pursuing whatever you guys find in your way is going to be ideal here.
We never do that.
We don't.
Jean-Jacques kind of leans over, and if Turnock allows it, just puts a hand on his shoulder and just looks at him like with the most honest expression that Jean-Jacques has had since they met, and just says, "I am so thankful that you're here." Just like lets it hang there for just a moment. The sincerity in his voice is striking. You know, it's like you
Turnock.
see relief like
Uh-huh.
everywhere.
At this point, Turnock's literally taking notes. That's what he's doing. Like, he's taking notes, and you know, if Jean-Jacques close enough, he can see that he's literally noting down everything that they need to do in the order that he thinks that is the ideal and the most optimal for us to go about all the things in a timely manner. So
Well, I don't see you
literally
do
breaking
that, so I just turn back and say, so another note, well, thought. While we are at the freelancers, we can see which quests they have. Maybe they can maybe they can give us something to do as well while we're here.
yeah. It's so boring, right now. We definitely need some more stuff to do.
Oh boy.
Tani, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay. Honestly, I need the distraction.
Do you want to
I'll
go
be
back
honest
to the
with you.
brothel?
And Finn said some important stuff about my past that I think it's time to tell you also. And I'll be honest with you guys. I don't feel like I'm in the best capacity to make the best decision right now, so I need I need you guys to help me think. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I dropped my
Need help
notes.
to think. So I'll tell you later. Not right now. I want to get distracted.
I grab my notes back.
Turnock will remember this.
I need help thinking.
I have.
All right. Well,
Sorry, I was just gonna say I have to imagine with their past friendship, Cora probably reaches out and just briefly puts a hand on your shoulder, just kind of encouragingly but stoically, you know, not forcing you to say anything, but he's there.
Honey,
Well,
I don't want to sound any insensitive or anything like that. I know you're going through a hard time, but we literally don't have any time for your bullshit right now. I need you.
Not to sound insensitive.
Shut up! You're boring.
No, of course she won't laugh, but yeah, I get that. Yes, I'll put myself together.
Thank you. Thank you
But
so much.
wait,
Trust me that I can do that. I'll be my usual stupid self.
you're not stupid, Tani. If you're stupid, then what am I?
Stupid?
No, I'm the leader. Leaders can't be stupid. Leaders are the most profound
Where's
ones
your
here.
hat?
That's honestly.
I
how
gave it
feel
away.
right now, but yeah,
No leader here.
I'm not.
I gave it.
You're
I'll go
right.
buy.
You're right.
I'll go and buy a hat.
You're right.
Okay.
We're Orion and Oriana. How could we possibly be? Yeah. Keep it together, Tani.
Tani, tonight we have that thing
Yeah.
that you and I will probably excel at because
Yes,
we are
will excel. Yes.
people. So yeah, if things go south and if they kick us out, which will probably happen, we can go and talk.
please don't get kicked out, please. I'm taking you to see my family.
That's
So-
not on us, Jean-Jacques. That
Oh,
is
God.
not on us. You know that we are very good people.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I get what Turnock's saying. I'll be myself. This is not
Well-
me right now.
To be honest, Tony, like I also get it. Very candid of you, Turnock. But in terms of distractions, there's nothing like an aristocratic soiree where everybody's super boring and proper to get your mind off of things. So
I'll pay attention to everything they're saying and I'll try to piece it. That's how I'll get distracted.
yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Remember, they have 3 forks, Tani. What the fuck?
Yeah. Can we go over that again before we go later?
Yeah, sure. Let me clear you again.
Yeah, I'm going to. I don't know. I'm going to get myself. We are already close, right? The time is like literally. We need to
Oh,
start, putting in our clothes and getting ready and stuff
yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, you,
Right?
you have some space. So it's not like you're really pressed for time, but definitely this is the time if you wish to get started to give yourself enough room to not have to hurry, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can definitely
Yeah.
start getting ready. Barnack, you can dip out and buy a nice, I mean, you're close to the harbor, so buying a
Yeah.
nice,
Captain's
ridiculously
hat.
oversized
Yeah.
Commodore's hat,
Yep.
probably with like
Commodore.
3 feathers in it, and like it fits your head, but it is basically it's wider than your shoulders, and it's just enormous. It's like a ship in and of itself,
Yep.
on your head. Completely black with like white trimming and everything, and then like beautiful, gigantic
Oh
feathers,
God.
probably from a hippogriff or something that have been plucked into it.
That works. Doesn't matter how expensive that was. That
Oh,
works.
that was like let's say 2 gold pieces, 2 guilders.
Yep. I'm immediately taking those off. Oh, that works wonders.
As you walk away, like from the stand and from a few of the other stands nearby that sell like paraphernalia and other ridiculous tourist items, everyone watching you walk by just starts clapping.
Yeah. Not realizing what they're on about, I'll just puff up my chest and continue walking.
Okay, somewhere in the distance, laughter begins.
I didn't
Is
hear it.
there a way? I turn to Finn actually. Is there a way a dragonborn can get a bath in this place?
Of course, anyone can get a bath. I'll get a big one for you. Just a second. And he heads up the stairs, and you hear some scraping and some cursing as something falls over. But about 15 minutes later, you hear Finn calling, and as you come upstairs, you see him literally carrying an entire large-sized bathtub, large enough for you to be in, made of copper, above his head, just carrying it into your chambers.
Yeah, you can leave that anywhere, please.
Well,
And
our guests have a certain expectation of privacy and also not to be exposed to, bathing
Your
dragonborn. So
privates.
I'll put it in your, I'll put it in your chambers if that's all right. It's going to take us about 30 minutes to fill it up with water, but
too bad you won't give your clients a little bit of entertainment. Have you ever seen a naked dragonborn before?
yes.
That answer was not ready for. Thank you, Phil.
You hear like
yes.
as he walks away, you hear him mumbling about many naked dragonborn and other creatures, and always the fucking tiefling. That's all you hear.
Okay.
So there's
Yeah,
some
so-
memory there that's definitely haunting him.
Yeah, I go to my room then. Still head down on my notes. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just going to wait for everybody to be ready, but consider me ready. Getting ready.
Okay.
And
So yeah.
until the time we leave, I'm getting ready. And
Yeah, so I think at this point, let's time skip a bit. But is there anything that absolutely must happen now, or shall we go ahead, approach the 4 o'clock mark, and you guys are underway to Jean-Jacques' cousin's location?
I have just one thing in the carriage on the way over there. It's just,
Okay, so you guys flag down one of the many carriages that are taking people to and fro, especially from the harbor to other places in the city, and especially in this weather, they are very busy and very popular. So you end up paying, I think probably for this, it will be a gold piece for all of you together to go where you want to go. And yeah, you sit like in the back of the carriage. It's still cold, but thankfully those of you who wanted to have warm winter coats or cloaks to put over you, to put over your formal clothes as well, and just another gentle clippity clop of the horses. I give the word to you, Jean-Jacques.
yeah, so just RB is with us. So I
Yes.
just say to everybody, as you know, I do have a different family name back in Nordyke, but today I am going to be Jean-Jacques Dupois, that you know. Please be mindful of that. It's quite important. I entrusted you with the truth of my identity. So I would appreciate if you could preserve that trust. Just a bit of information. I'm a part of I'm an offshoot of the Chapois, or Chopin, sorry, family from North Dyke. We're a smaller cousin family of sorts. We primarily deal in merchant work, specifically with timber and other assorted building materials from up north. And RB here is going to be acting as my assistant. I don't think a butler would be proper considering my station, but administrative assistant of sorts. Helps deal with my day-to-day.
Aye, aye, my lord.
And who are we?
I think that in that sense you can be yourselves. I don't think that unless you want to obscure your identities, but
Oh, I mean,
You
should
could
we
be
say that we are
ugly
freelancers?
prostitutes. Sorry, Arby just like literally belts over everyone. He's not being very considerate.
No,
No? You
not
could
tonight. That's true.
I was about to nod, but when Barnack says no, I immediately switch to no.
Oh,
I think you could just
Can we just be freelancers?
I think so. We
Much
just
easier.
met on a ship, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that, considering that this is going to be a formal noble occasion, it would be expected of me and my peers to introduce themselves by our real names and not our orderly names, so to say. So if you see me addressing myself as Krukenudog Vulskan, and I actually, he, Turnok, actually stumbles upon that because he doesn't say that name too often. So it's kind of, does not come naturally to him. But if you see me addressing myself by my birth name, it's just because it is expected of me and it is the right thing to do. Okay?
So you mean we won't be able to be Orion and Oriana? The siblings?
I mean you can, but in a more discerning society, you two being siblings is not gonna pass off as believable. So to
Then
say.
I'll just be Commodore Barnack Stoneheart.
See,
I mean,
you look.
that
You're
is
wearing
not-
the hat right now. You are, right?
Yeah.
You look great on that, partner.
Yeah. The thing
meet
is, that's not lying. If anyone asks us, I own a ship. Well, I own part of a ship, but I own a ship. I just got into Postizia, and these two are freelancers with me.
You do know that a commodore typically owns multiple ships and commands them.
I
That's
know.
the point of being a commodore, otherwise you're a captain.
Well, I'm not a captain, so I have to be something, and I'm a commodore.
No, that's just another captain.
Nope.
Okay. Like, he just sits there with a self-satisfied, shit-eating grin at how spectacularly this is obviously going to blow up in his eyes.
But no, seriously, freelancers. We are freelancers. We will introduce ourselves. Should we introduce ourselves with our last names, Jean-Jacques? Probably.
I think that's fine. The only reason why I brought mine up is just to make sure
Yes,
that
yours is special case thing. We'll just say Mr. Dupois if anyone asks us about you.
and as part of my no, never mind. I didn't take it. Never mind. Moving on.
All right.
I was gonna say I changed my appearance, but then I remember I didn't take the hat of disguise. So never mind.
All right. So, clippity-clop. It takes you a few more, a good 10 or 15 minutes to get through the city to the indication given by Jean-Pierre in his letter. When you arrive, you actually just see a beautiful white ornate carriage pulled up outside with a couple of drivers. Well, actually a driver and what seems to be a very ornate looking soldier in like full plate armor, complete white as well, with the symbol of the Empire of Truth on it. The two heads facing each other. When you guys turn off your cameras, it rearranges the order of the cameras, so it puts you in the wrong place on the stream.
I didn't click anything. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'm gonna fix it in a minute. But in any case, you see the soldier sitting there, and seemingly with what seems to be a musket across his lap, just like heavy protection. You see another, what seems to be definitely a valet of some kind, in very formal clothing, not dressed at all for the weather, holding open the door. And as you guys wait to essentially park outside of the residence that you've come for, you watch as a pairing of the two most ridiculously dressed people that you've seen in the city so far, in just this extreme high court fashion, emerge. A very tall man with a bald head, kind of a grim face actually, completely contrasted by the colorful clothing that he wears. Very puffy, kind of that 15th century feel to it. And next to him a wife in equally puffy dress, also very colorful, all like deep violets and greens and yellows about them. And they say goodbye to whoever is standing inside the door, and then turn and walk into the carriage. And I would say that definitely, Jean-Jacques, you and Turnock, I think, as well, and Arby all recognize this must have been the Imperial Ambassador who is just leaving. So,
It's unfortunate.
you have to wait about 5 or 10 minutes, and you actually kind of become late because of it. But there's no way to go faster without breaking protocol, as they have their chat, and you actually see Jean-Pierre with what seems to be a manservant of some kind standing beside him, saying his goodbyes at the door. Like, he actually came out and talked to them, still a little bit in the carriage, creating a bit of a blockage in the street traffic as well. But this is kind of expected with these kinds of people. So by the time that you pull up, you see Jean-Pierre standing there, talking with his manservant very quickly, and then the moment that he sees you, he just waves off the manservant and steps aside and waits for you to emerge and join him inside. But of course, first he awaits introductions. So he smiles, and the moment that the door opens, and for this, you have to open your own doors here, unless you make Remy do it.
I absolutely just look at Remy and I point to the door, and I'm like,
It's this really awkward moment where you make eye contact with your cousin. You all look around the cabin for a moment, and you look at Remy, and Remy's just sitting there and waits for stuff to happen, and then looks up at you. What? Oh.
come on, Remy.
And
Do the
he
fucking
goes
job.
to open the door. And under his breath, he just goes like, "You said an administrative assistant.
Well, damn fucking assist me with opening that door.
I'll assist you. I'll shit in your bed later." Anyway. Like, this whispered exchange, and then he opens the door, and he tries to bow. He's not super versed in this, right? But he does it charmingly enough, or he fails charmingly enough, that it actually earns a chuckle from your cousin, who is actually wearing this like really fancy thick winter coat as well, just thrown over. He almost looks like what we would consider a bachelor in, like, one of those ridiculously expensive coats that you wear at home even though you don't have to. But he stands there and he waits, and Remy falls out of the carriage almost, but lands on his feet and holds open the door while you all file past him towards Jean-Pierre. And
Just a small note is Jean-Jacques will go out first, and to those within the carriage, there's like almost a transformation that happens where his normally kind of cavalier, laid back bearing and mannerisms completely change, and he's all stiffness and proper kind of bearing. Like, he stands up taller by like an inch, and he's very much like adopted this persona seemingly of a person that's used to mingling with different sorts of people than what he normally does.
So as you come closer to him, of course, he does that kind of formal embrace, right? He takes you by the shoulders, he puts a kiss there, he puts a kiss there, and another one. And he says, "Cousin Jacques, it is so very good to see you. It's been a long time. How are you?"
Cousin Pierre? Oh, sorry, Cousin Pierre. It was very good to see you too. It has been indeed. way too long.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, please go up, and my servant should show you to the appropriate room, and let me make some acquaintance with your wonderful friends. And he waits for the next person to emerge, which is... Who wants to go
I'm
next?
guessing that's me, just
Sure.
because I'm following that lead. I bow.
Okay.
In not ideally not the most the most beautiful bow that you've ever
Sure.
seen, but it is versed. You can see that I've done this before, and I just nice to meet you, sir. The name is Kulkenuldak Vulchan, and I'm really glad to meet Jean-Jacques' family. He's always really passionate about his family. He's always putting the good word out. So it's really nice to finally get to meet you all.
He does the same embrace. He takes you by the shoulders, and it's awkward because with more humanoid people, he can just place the kisses and be as is. With you, your face has a different structure altogether. So he hesitates for a moment and just leans in further and kind of puts his cheek against yours for a moment, and then the same thing on the other side, and then same thing again, and it becomes this kind of like he has to really pull back because your snout obviously extends further. So it's kind of spectacle, but he, in true high-born society fashion, just carries on, and holds you by the shoulders for a moment, looks you up and down. He says, it is very good to meet you. I didn't know that Jean-Jacques had friends who were so well spoken. Indeed, I may have some questions for you. I have just read about the rise and fall of Adara. I don't know if you've heard of that tome, but it's a recent publication and very interesting to me. Perhaps you can tell me a little bit of your family's influence and tribulations over the past, let us say, 50 years?
Oh, sir, I would most gladly want to actually engage in political conversations and my family's importance in the happenings of Adara, but it's unfortunate for me actually because this would be the most interesting story to tell. I am not in contact with my family for a long while now, and what I know from them, they don't look to me like the type of Dragonborn that would actually mingle with
Of course.
those events.
I apologize if I throw up any old wounds. Don't mean to pry, of course. I am just incredibly intrigued by this incredible thing that happened. I mean, the cult of the dragon. Can you believe it? Can you imagine? In any case,
Yes, sir,
please continue onwards, and my servant will show you the way while I meet your
Thank
charming friends. And he looks to the carriage and waits for whoever is going to emerge next. So, Tani or Barney?
Tani. You should go next, Tani.
We'll say Core probably goes first just to get it out of the way. So they have a brief exchange, and then it's just the two of you left.
What do
Ladies
you mean I
first.
should go? You go first.
Ladies first, Tani. I cannot leave a lady alone in the carriage. That's nuts. Remember what Jean-Jacques said? Something about
hello? Are you all right in there? Do you need any assistance?
that? No. Go, Tani.
And I step out, and I position myself like super straight.
Okay.
My hands, they're like relaxed as much as I can.
Okay. Would you care to roll a performance check? Just to
Yes.
see how...
It's already falling apart. No.
How much did you roll?
6.
6. Okay. In that case, could you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Okay, dexterity.
Face plant.
I am a lady. They will hurry to my care. 11.
Okay. So let's see here. Oh my. Okay. So as you begin to step out, you're so focused on keeping straight that you forget that like the part of the carriage where the stairs come down, that's actually, been outside the whole time, so it's kind of frozen over. So you feel your feet begin to slip. Being the dexterous monk that you are, you start to kind of catch yourself a little bit, but it's still very uncertain. And you start to fall. And actually, Jean-Pierre swoops in and just kind of catches you right off the side. You know, he feels very accomplished about himself. You can tell immediately. And he just kind of holds you there for a moment. It's like really almost so cliche out of a book. He just holds you there for a moment. He says, oh, I'm so sorry, my lady. Are you all right?
Well, Hoppy, thank you so much. You saved me.
Of course.
How clumsy of me.
I would do nothing less. Of course. And he, you know, gently helps you to your feet. And then he offers to take your hand and put a kiss on the back of it. He's very, very much showing off at this point. Probably not quite realizing the nature of his company. And places the kiss on the back of your hand. And he says, Jean-Pierre Chopin, very good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. I'm charmed.
Excellent. You can see an expectation in his eyes as he waits for a name of his own, of yours.
Oh yes. Apologies. Maybe the fall.
Of course. I mean, that was a very frightening situation.
And I hesitate for the tiniest second because technically I'm not wearing a dress, but also I'm a lady, so I should curtsy. So I curtsy.
Okay.
And I put my hand out again in case he wants to do something with it.
he just takes it and holds onto it a bit confused, like,
Yeah.
this is not how this works, but okay.
Yeah. Tani Kalatar.
Tony Kalatar, it is wonderful to meet you. Please be a guest in my house, and my servant will show you the way to where your companions are, and I will join you shortly after I meet the last of your companions.
Thank you kindly.
So wonderful to meet you. You know, guy, like,
And
allows you to move on. Okay, Barnack.
Yeah, I saw Tani almost fall, so I'm making sure that I step properly.
Okay.
And as I walk out, well, I saw Tani extend her hand, so I extend my hand like this. I say,
Oh my god. Okay. He kind of looks at you for a moment.
I realize what's happening, and I do this.
Please roll a deception check.
Okay, that's not bad.
Please take inspiration as well.
Let me just-
Barnack!
I think deception plus 0. Yeah, it's 0. So that's 16.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So what happens is this. He looks at you confused. As you move your hand, you see almost a light bulb go off in his head. He extends his own hand, like so, first, waits, then turns his hand and shakes yours.
Amazing. Oh my god.
Just carry on, old chap.
Yeah,
So good.
And he says,
it's very.
very good to meet you. My name is Jean-Pierre Chopin. And you are?
The honor is mine, Mr. Chopin. My name is Barnack Stoneheart.
I see. Well, it is always wonderful. I've never actually met anyone from Hogrim before. I didn't know that dwarves like you were present in the Republic. I thought you stayed far away. How did... Well, you must tell me all about how my cousin came to snatch you up for his party.
Of course. Later, perhaps.
Of
Not
course.
whilst we're standing in the cold, of course.
Of course. And he
I
just
was
continues
not-
to shake your hand.
I
since
was
you
not. Yeah,
started
I was.
up.
I was not aware. Yeah, I was not aware that you knew our customs of the hand.
You see him pause for a moment, and he says, "Well, no, of course, any dignified and well-respected member of society in Postitia should be very well aware of the customs of our neighbours, and well, we may not be very familiar with the dwarves of Hogrim, but of course I have done my studies, just in case I should ever meet one such as yourself, so I'm very glad to put my knowledge to use."
Yes.
And,
Thank you very much.
Is this the... And he kind of whispers in, as if you guys are now in a conspiracy. And he leans in a little bit and he goes like, Is this the appropriate amount of strength that I'm applying?
Perhaps just a bit stronger. When you see the stouter dwarf, the stronger the grip. Just remember that.
Okay. And he starts to
Thank you very much.
squish, and actually you feel there's some strength in that grip. And he like...
Good, very good.
Excellent. Well, please. And he attempts to
Yeah.
withdraw.
I let go. Yeah, I let go.
And it's awkward, right? Because it's really cold outside. So you guys have been shaking hands, and it's like your hands now warmed up from holding on to each other, and it's now like kind of sweaty as well. But you know, he plays it off very gently, and he just gestures for the house. He says, "If you would please follow me, and we will follow my servant into the appropriate chambers."
Of course.
Excellent. So good to meet you, and welcome to our wonderful city. How long have you been here?
Thank you. Well, for a while now.
Indeed.
Yes. We'll talk later.
So he leads you inside, and all of you have individually been directed to a chamber where there's actually set up a beautiful kind of lunch, late lunch in this case, with all kinds of cut sandwiches with different toppings, and you see that there's a warm kettle that's just been brought in, actually probably while some of you were sitting there, by another maidservant. And there's a vase with beautiful flowers on the table. Everything is like all the furniture is this white wood, very very elegant, with all these beautiful finishes on them. But you also notice that on the other side of the chamber is set, so like this is half, and then on the other half is set up several mirrors, kind of in a sort of wardrobe setup, and a whole rack of clothes. And as you guys are seated there, Jean-Pierre comes in with his manservant, and they promptly go over there, and he says to you all, "Well, I genuinely must be sorry, but unfortunately business has kept me so busy that I must combine some of my time here, and I'm certain that my cousin Jean-Jacques is more than appreciative of the incredibly difficult times that we face. So if you will allow it, I will invite you to partake in a wonderful luncheon while I also try on some clothes."
I kind of nod like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's definitely a sign of disrespect. Like there's no question about this for those of you well versed in politics and manners. This is just an outright slight, but there's literally nothing you can say about it.
Is there anybody at the lunch except us?
Just you guys.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Do you wish to address it? Because that is possible.
Yeah.
You are the cousin, so you are the one who could speak if you wished.
Yeah, I kind of look at him and I say, well, certainly, because I know that you're busy. So I appreciate you giving us the time of day that you are. And I've, as long as I've known you to be one enamored with such things. And they kind of give him like a poisonous smile that I'm insinuating he's a fanciful guy that just takes more interest in clothes than things that he should be reading.
Like he's already holding up this horrible fur coat, like all brown and scratchy and stuff, but he's holding it up like it's beautiful. He's just kind of checking it out in the mirror, and at times, like even though he's conversing with you, he will lean over to his manservant and just whisper something, like super rude as well. But he's holding it up, and he just kind of glances over and smiles as well, equally poisonous. And the rest of you can read this like an open book, right? It's not like they're being secretive about this. And he just smiles and he says, "Well, some of us still have a chance to look good. Others are simply hopeless." And he puts on the coat, and basically throughout all of this, he's switching through different, especially coats and top outfits, that sort of thing. But yeah, so welcome, Jean-Jacques, and of course associates. Is there in fact a name that I could ascribe to all of you together? Have you perhaps picked something fanciful like Jean-Jacques Troop, or I don't know, something else silly and fun? to call all of you?
Well, actually, we are a member of the Guild of Freelancers, and we go by the name of Ashen Hearts.
Ah, that is a very respectable guild, or it used to be at least. And he lets that kind of hang there. But, of course, I did not invite you here for nothing. It's, in fact, I'm very appreciative that you've come. I would say that I have stumbled upon something of an opportunity here in the city, and I would think that I could use some of your help, and perhaps even the help of some of your friends, who I find mighty interesting, by the way, or perhaps a bit clumsy on the exit of the carriage, but never mind. And he smiles at Tani for a moment. You see, like, Tani's probably the only one who he has given a genuine smile to at this point. So, whatever, poison...
I cover my mouth like, oh.
Whatever poison is in the air, that particular performance seems to have captured him more than anything. In spite of possibly the obvious, superficiality of it. But never mind that. In essence, it comes down to this, and please understand that everything that I share with you here today is in the utmost confidence and in the interest of our family. And there's kind of a serious note to him there, and he waits for kind of confirmation from you, Jean-Jacques.
I look at him, just no sign of a reaction for a little bit.
Of course. How is your mother, by the way?
Well, last I heard, she was doing swell.
Indeed. Even after losing 2 seats in the council, is it?
Well, such is the ebb and flow of Nordikian society. My mother has never worried about such things.
No, indeed. Well, we have an opportunity here for a position far more prestigious than anything that we've held before. In fact, I have the opportunity of joining the Postician peace delegation to the Freehold. However, in order to open up that opportunity, the current holder of that position, or at least the current favourite to hold that position, must find himself sufficiently inconvenienced so that he will no longer be a viable choice. Should he fall away, I will be next in line. That is, in essence, what I am asking of you. Frankly, I have little care for how you do it, or what you do, but as you know, I am not too fond of using the criminal element of this city, or any city, for this sort of business, as I think it requires a certain touch of finesse and must be taken care of with the appropriate amount of attention to detail, as you might understand. Do you think that you may be interested in helping me? Of course, I will appropriately compensate your companions, but I suspect that you understand the importance of this opportunity for our family.
Of course, cousin. When one is not able to complete a task on his own, he should ask those in his family that can. And I kind of smile at him again with the same poison.
Yeah, he just kind of shoots you a look, but he doesn't say anything to that.
But I ask, and who might this individual be that's currently holding the position?
Well, the gentleman in question is called Atticus Hope. He is a gnome, and he is a crown-minded delegate from the Merchants Guild.
Guys, I apologize, but I need to take a fight, okay?
Yeah, no worries. Crown-minded from the Merchants Guild, which, as you can imagine, is quite rare, with Miss Picars sitting as the Grand Pensionary and being very much against our stedholder. So it will not be too difficult for me to take his place, but currently they are being pressured to send him, and it would require either a sufficiently scandalous scandal, or for him to be removed by other means that, frankly, I would not care to know more about, but should you choose to pursue such an avenue, I will not oppose it.
I see.
I would
And
I would prefer to avoid giving you more direct instructions, as you might understand, in the case of any questioning by particularly inquisitive individuals. But I think we understand each other well.
of course, cousin. When by would this need to happen?
Well, the delegates are not set to depart for another few weeks, but the sooner the better, preferably in the coming week. There may be an opportunity for some action to be taken during the Equinical, which I assume you've received an invitation to at this point through some means or another. But if that is
We
not
have,
suitable
yes.
for you, then any time this week would be probably the most appropriate. Otherwise, my support may begin to wane, and replacing him will not be a certainty.
I see. Yes, we haven't received invitations, and we will be attending. So,
Well, and he kind of looks at you for a moment. On that front, I must congratulate you. Well done.
appreciate it, cousin. Is this the primary and only reason why you asked to meet?
But that is the opportunity that I've identified, but I'm sure that you've not been idle yourself, so I'm also very curious to learn of what you have been up to, and perhaps if anything at all will be beneficial to share with me, or with the family, in this time of uncertainty.
Hmm. Let me think for a minute.
Of course,
kind of-
if you have nothing else to share, I will be happy to converse with your companions who are, in their own right, very interesting. We all need entertainment from time to time.
Well, please do. And I kind of point, and I shall
course.
consider whether or not something else is worth your time.
Of course. And like he kind of takes a break for a moment from the dressing. And the manservant just gets to work like organizing the clothes and getting another batch ready for testing, essentially. And he comes over and like immediately he just kind of pushes himself next to Tani, and whoever's sitting next to her just kind of gets a very, very short like, "May I?" and just like basically sawed off, and he just pulls up a chair and he sits next to Tani and starts questioning Tani, I don't know, about the very minutiae of life. Just every little detail of what where she's from and what she's doing here and how she knows Jean-Jacques. And so my question mainly is, do you wish to answer in full honesty, or is there anything that you would like to obscure, or most of it?
Well, he will know that I'm a monk, but I'll try to.
A monk, indeed. You.
I don't know what to answer. But I'll try to like skirt around the subject of from where.
Okay. He pauses for a moment, and then he looks around, and wherever Barnack is sitting, he kind of briefly draws his attention as well. He says, "And how did you two and all of you actually come to travel together, especially with a dwarf from Hogrim? As I understood it, your kind doesn't typically leave those grand halls at all if they don't have to. Is that correct?"
Yes, that is correct. And I just shoot a glance at Jean-Jacques, hoping that he knows that I have no idea where actually Hogrim is, even though Milosh knows, like Barnack doesn't. So he's like, yeah, that is a very long story, which should probably be told over food as well.
Of course.
But the gist of it would be that we all met and we are together now, all of us.
Yeah, well, of course, we met in freelance training.
Yes.
Of course. So, of course, you are also one of these freelancers then, my lady. And like it's really awkward to have this conversation because in the middle he will just ignore Barnack or whoever else is around and talking
Oh no.
to look at her and ask her a question. Like literally half of the time this happens. So what made you choose to become a freelancer of all the many professions that would undoubtedly be open to you? I mean, there are, very interesting things that you can do in a city that are not involving fighting or anything dangerous.
Well, given my childhood of training in the arts of energies and fighting styles, well, I wanted to do some good in the world, and I figured I
Indeed.
could use my skills.
And where did you learn all this training? Is it where's this fabled, what is it, monastery, I suppose you might call it?
Oh, it's very far away from here.
You come from outside the Republic.
Well, not. Oh, jeez.
Please, do not let me press you into anything you do not wish to talk about, of course. So what is it that you bring to the group? And he just like turns to Barnack and like slams him immediately with, what the hell do you do, basically?
I'm the leader here.
He kind of looks to Jean-Jacques, waiting for a response.
Just kind of like shrugs. Like, yeah.
Indeed, you are the leader.
Yes.
Jean-Jacques is following a foreign leader.
Oh,
Jean-Jacques
you see,
is not
it's-
following
Yeah.
a leader.
He has great prowess in leadership skills.
Indeed.
I put in here.
Us dwarves, from my land have different, different. How do we say this? I'm sorry. I have
Chutzpah, Barnack is, I believe, what you were looking for. Chutzpah.
No, I have talked in Dwarvish for so long, I have forgotten some words. I apologize. But us dwarves from my land do have different skill sets when it comes to leading people.
Indeed.
And that is what freelancers needed, it seemed.
And might you tell me a little bit about these special skills? I mean, I'm very interested. Your friend Jean-Jacques would tell you, but I'm always very interested in learning more about other cultures, especially one that is so close to our own, of course.
Yes. We do not really.
Well, you see, cousin, the problem is Barnack is not allowed to share. He's part of an order within Hogrim that is very secretive. Even I don't know the full extent of his training and his abilities, but he has shown time and again that they are exceptional, especially when we found ourselves on a particular ledge in terms of our destiny.
Indeed.
He was always able to rule the situation, so to say, and really show that he is a master in those situations. So while I agree and can confirm that you are always interested in foreign cultures, Barnack has been sworn to secrecy.
Indeed. Very well. Of course I will not pry any further. I would not wish for you to violate the traditions of your homeland. But I can only say I'm most pleased to make your acquaintance. So,
I
cousin,
just look at Barnack and I kind of, with my look, he like, you owe me one.
Yep.
So he turns to Jean-Jacques at this point, and he goes like, "So, cousin, have you had time to order your thoughts?"
Yes, well, we're still fairly new to the city of Watchhold. Not Watchhold, Pastitia. We also recently arrived, so my information would probably be a little bit insignificant, but I can tell you that the leadership structure within the freelancers is changing right now. They're voting for a new overseer in Watchhold as we speak, so
Interesting.
there is a potential.
I had heard something about the previous one. What was the name?
Overseer
Epatata?
Pirata.
Ah, yes.
Pirata.
She
Yes.
She died suddenly, didn't she?
Quite.
Do you know anything about
Yes.
that?
We've heard about it, yes.
Could you roll
It
a
was quite
deception check?
unfortunate. Yeah.
It's because, like, you get the impression, I mean, he's also probing you here on this topic
Yeah.
specifically.
24.
Okay. He narrows his eyes a little bit. You know, like, and by the way, he has like this kind of stubbly beard. He's trying to grow one. It's not really working. And he just kind of eyes you for a moment. Very interesting.
Very unfortunate for the freelancers, of course, but I am told that the prospects for the new leaders are quite good, and we know one of them quite well and hope that he will be the one to come on top.
Interesting. Do you know? I've heard some rumors that that some of the Empire spies actually have infiltrated freelancer ranks. Is that anything that you've heard about? Any
Very straight
whispers?
face.
Okay.
Yeah. I can say that I have myself. I would be surprised knowing the diligence of our fellow comrades, but I suppose it's not impossible after all. You did entertain some guests yourselves tonight that are closely tied to the Empire, so I know that they're interested in our society.
Well, indeed. You know, you really mustn't look too badly upon me for not inviting you to that particular part of the day. But that relationship is being cultivated very carefully, and it will be, in fact, play a part in ensuring that I will be one of the best choices for this peace delegation. But, yes, of course. Still, if you hear
I
anything...
do not take it against you.
Excellent. Well, still, if you hear anything about spies, I'd be interested to know. Mainly out of personal curiosity, but still. In any case, interesting. Well, I really have some more to do, so please feel free to complete your luncheon. I will just be right back. I must look into some matters, and then I will return. So if there's any more that we should discuss then, please let me know. But in the meantime, the table is yours. Try on some clothes if you like, and I will be right back. And he gets up, briefly looks at Tani, and just like offers this kind of awkward quick bow. Like, awkward because it's just so sudden, but he's definitely trying to make an impression. And then he heads out the
Nod
door.
and smile graciously
All right.
as much as I can. Like,
So he heads out the door, and one of his the manservant that was like arranging the clothes at this point just takes up position right beside the door on the inside, and he just says, like, you know, I will be available for anything that you require.
Thank you, kind sir.
You, as cousin, are probably at liberty to send him out of the room if you wish.
Yeah. I I don't. I don't want to talk anything serious here.
Okay.
So I kind of just ignore him.
All right. So, is there anything you guys actually do want to talk about in the time that he's gone, or shall we fast forward to what seems to be the end?
I'll just get closer to Tarnok and just say, so add another thing to that list.
Yeah, that's exactly like when Jean-Jacques hesitated and actually did not put the guy out the room. That was I was going to say if he was not here. So I'm glad Bornek is less composed than I am, because that's exactly what I was thinking. One more thing to the list.
All right. So if there's nothing else, you guys just chat away. You can eat some sandwiches. It's all very delicious. It's all very well put together. You know, you kind of see why high society has the certain status that it does. Although you also see the downsides. After about probably 20 minutes, he reappears in the chamber, and walking behind him is another manservant, and that person is currently carrying what seems to be a small chest, wooden, maybe about as broad as someone's, torso, and you hear the slight clink of coin inside. So that person stands by the door. That remains open at this point. And he comes back in, and there's like part of the table that's obviously free because you guys were also talking with him while he was trying on clothes. And he takes up position there, and he looks around the table for a moment, smiling. He says, "Very well. I'm afraid that some other important business has arisen, but this has been a very pleasant visit. I do apologize that it is a bit short, but of course, please feel free to visit again." And like he says this, his eyes are just on Tani. But he looks around the table for a moment, and he looks to Jean-Jacques especially now. And he says, "Now, cousin, do we have an agreement in the pursuit of this particular matter?"
We do, cousin. We'll do everything in our power to make it so.
Excellent. And he gestures for the servant, and they put down the chest, which clearly is filled with coin. And he opens it, and you see inside just a hoard of platinum. And at a guess, you would say maybe, a total guilder's value of maybe 2,000 gold pieces. And he says, "I've decided to pay you up front. I would like to avoid any possibility of this going wrong, and I shall say that regardless of my personal opinions, I trust you, cousin. So in this matter, consider yourself paid, and I trust that the matter will be resolved swiftly and with all due diligence and professionalism."
While
course.
looking at those platinum pieces, are they normal?
Yeah, they seem to be.
What is the face on them?
Yeah, the face.
There are actually several different versions. So some coins from a few years ago. Mostly they are with the faces of the various, not stedholders, but of the various Grand Pensionaries. So you see a few new ones with like Katerina Picar's face on them. You see a few Erythean coins as well. And you also see a batch with stedholder on it. So with... Lord Ironshoe's markings on them. But this distinctly is different from the coins that you have. So the coins that you have are marked with his personal seal. So they were specifically made by his estate. These are just made by the Republic in honor of the person that they are referencing.
Right.
Alright. So, inside here you should find more than enough coin to see you through any endeavors that might be required. Of course, you understand that this is not only your reward, but also your spending money, should you require it. But I believe that resolves our business here, and I will wish a very fond farewell to you for the day, and I shall hope to see you again soon.
Very well. Thank you very much for the business and for this delightful luncheon.
Of course.
And I kind of look towards the clothes and the insight into your fashion sense. Enlightening, as always.
Of course, I'm always happy to enlighten my less gifted cousins. And he smiles, like, genuinely this time. In spite of the barbs, like, there's definitely... He enjoys that kind of engagement, probably.
Yeah.
So, like, he comes over and, like, he just puts out a hand. But when you grab it, he's kind of bulky. Mostly fat, but also strong. And he just pulls you into kind of, like, this brief hug. Where you can definitely... The rest of you can see that, like... cousins, but this man's still a bit older, a bit more senior, so he just has that kind of hold over Jean-Jacques for just a second. But of course he releases immediately, steps aside, and he gestures for the coin, obviously for you to take. Indeed, inside are 2,000 guilders worth of platinum, so 200 platinum.
I'll add it to the haversack.
Pilders.
And yeah, you can wish your goodbyes. Is there anything anyone wants to say specifically to him, or are we good to leave?
200. Did you say 200 platinum?
Yes, 200 platinum.
Yeah, I'll just wait for everybody else to go out first, and I'll try and grab his attention for just a few seconds more.
You see, out in the hallway, standing now, is a very annoyed Remy, who wasn't allowed inside during this entire ordeal. So he was just standing like by the front door, essentially waiting like a manservant would. And he's a bit cold and a bit pissed, but the door closes when you catch his attention, and he turns to you. Yes, cousin.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to quickly see, with no company present, You have then not communicated with my mother in recent times?
I have meant to, but I'm afraid that I've not had the opportunity to follow up with her. But to my knowledge, she is indeed well, so I do not believe that you have cause for concern. Although, for you, it may be prudent to resume communications as swiftly as you are able.
Indeed. Well, I will do my best and consider this matter taken care of.
Of course.
We will
of
get you
course.
that position.
Here, I will give you this gift since you are clearly very challenged on the fashion front, and he hands you the ugliest, probably a mink coat or something, and he just hands it over to you. It's probably a little too big for you as well.
Yeah.
So,
I look at it with like such honest delightedness, and I'm like, you are very gracious, my dear cousin. I look forward to seeing you at the I forget the name, at the ball.
the equinical, yeah. And
Equinical.
he just kind of bows his head. He says, "Well, I would stay humble, but humility is for idiots. Thank you. I am very gracious."
Jean-Jacques nods and just leaves. It's like, this guy.
Yo, I am really sorry, but would you guys give me like the shortest briefing possible about what is exactly the mission? Because I missed that one part.
That's okay. Let's say that you guys regroup outside. Your carriage is still there, ready to go. So you get back in the carriage. It's still a bit cold. Remy is a bit grumpy about how he was treated, and on the way back he can discuss how you want to proceed.
Yeah. I hand over the mink coat to Barnack, and I say, he was so enamored with you, Barnack, that he decided to bequeath this exquisite coat unto you. So it is a gift for you, my friend. It is the most extravagant representation of your station as Commodore that one can imagine. So I would wear it with pride.
Thank you.
It's really
Jean-Jacques.
good
I
with your
will
hat.
probably send him a letter of thanks.
No, I don't.
Yes,
don't,
I will do that.
There is no
tonight.
need to do that. It is a breach of protocol.
I
It
still
is
have to.
considered bad manners to reach out to your host after them giving you a gift in such an underhanded way. They have done so in order to avoid that sort of thing. So please don't send them a letter. Just wear it with
That's
pride.
not.
You
Jean-Jacques,
can wear them
remember?
at the ball, and
Yeah.
that'll be
Yes.
3 forks, Barnack. 3 forks. Just remember 3 forks.
Exactly.
Oh,
Remember, this rule was something else you should have mentioned. But fine, I will
I
not
should
send
have
him a
been.
letter
Alright.
about
With my
the
mom.
code.
All right. So what's the business? And like Remy, kind of gets really annoyed and pipes
Yeah.
in.
So I'll explain to Turnock that our goal is to ensure that Jean-Pierre is on the not expedition, on
Peace.
the
Peace delegation.
Peace delegation instead of this Atticus Hope fellow, and that we can do this in any number of ways, but we just need to essentially make sure that his favor within high society falls.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how does that qualify along with the other missions that we have? Is that top priority? Is we are abandoning everything that we are going to do so far to prioritize that? How is that going to fit in? We have 3 days to the ball, so we need to get to the bottom. When is that peace delegation going to? When you're going to decide who's going for that?
Well, and I kind of look to Remy. I say, I don't think it has to deter us from doing anything. I hope that if we meet with the friends of my friend here, that they can help us out by finding some information that we can then use during the
Pinnacle.
equinical. Okay, equinical to spread and diminish this person's import.
I mean, they might do. Probably going to point us in the right direction. The Luca territory kind of reduced a little bit significantly
understand.
since everything changed. But yeah, they can point us in the right direction for sure.
We also have coin now to procure their services if that's something
true.
that could help.
How much
So-
coin?
Enough.
You see him like twitching. It's like
I look at him as well. It's like, you didn't tell me about yours, so I'm not telling you about mine.
100 guilders.
that's all he's paying.
That's
More than
up
that.
front. And then he'll pay more when we finish it. Maybe.
Roll a deception check.
Fuck.
He doesn't believe you. He's like looking at you like,
Oh no. 11 in total. So
Okay.
6 plus 0.
he just stares you down with the grumpiest halfling, like middle-aged halfling stare ever. How
It's
much was
enough,
it
right?
really?
Not telling ya.
Well, then I'm not gonna help you.
Yeah, you will.
so
You're
we're just
helping
supposed to-
him.
Yeah, I'll just run away. I mean, this is not the way. Like, some secrets, sure, keep them. I don't give a shit what you do in your free time. Obviously, this one isn't doing anything good with his spare time, but this is the core of our partnership. If I'm gonna be sending you somewhere and introducing you to contacts that trust me, then you at least deserve. I deserve to know how much we're being paid for this kind of thing.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
Where is this we coming from, Remy?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna be helping you. Do you think you can pull
And
this
we're
off
helping
alone?
you stay alive.
Yeah, but that was in exchange for the other favor. And now I'm going to be
Right.
helping you on this. I mean, it doesn't end just introducing you to the DeLucas. Obviously, you're going to need my help getting rid of this, what is it, Hope guy?
All right.
So, in exchange, I expect a fair share. I mean, you can make it 1/10, but I expect to share, and I want to know what that share is going to be. Or do you want me to just drop you off at the DeLucas door and go like, well, good luck? Obviously, I'm going to be around because you need to protect me, so I might as well help you out, right?
Does make a good point.
How about you get 100 gold pieces yourself?
Well, that depends whether it's fair on the total amount that you got. Why won't you tell me?
Jean-Jacques will tell you.
No, he can
One-
tell me, and he points at Turnock. He can tell me. That's an honest guy. I know an honest guy because I fleece plenty of them. So, you tell me, how much money did you guys get?
Sorry, Remy, but that's absolutely none of your concern. You contacted us in order for us to do
Oh,
business
sure,
with you.
sure, whatever.
You shut up and listen to me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure. You stay silent because you are being an asshole. You are interrupting on some serious business here. You're not going to hang around to help us along. No, we are here to do you a service, and you are not associated with us. You're not associated with any kind of the freelancers guild or anything like that. I don't trust you. I don't know you. If Jean-Jacques' discretion is to not tell you how much money we're making from this job, we are not telling you.
Okay. Then I guess I'm not telling you.
1/20th, Remy.
Sorry? I didn't hear.
1/20th.
Huh. See, was that so hard? Mister, stick up your ass. Is that where you keep your sword?
I do not, Remy. You do not want to see the sword.
Look. Okay, I don't want to make enemies here. I get it. I'm difficult sometimes, but that, and he just points at Turnock, that was unwarranted. Very unpleasant. And there's better ways to tell someone they're being rude. Such as, hey, you're being rude.
You were being
and
rude.
You were totally inclined
I
to
am.
listen, weren't you?
But,
Right.
there's also the whole case of, I'm kind of on edge. Not
Come on,
nice.
Remy. I'll buy you ale. Come on.
I didn't
I'm
even
showing
ale.
my-
I'll buy you an
I'm-
ale. I'll buy all of you an ale. Even you, Grumpy.
I'm showing my thanks to him.
That's how
He
says
gets up on his chair, turns around, and moons you. And the whole cabin as a result.
Oh, I wanted to cold breath his ass so much, but
I just I put both hands in the air and be like, all right. Everybody just calm down. Remy, you can be an asshole. They're not used to you. They don't know you as well
I was
as
just
do.
showing my true face. That's all.
You were. That's
But
true.
I get it. No, I will make this good with you. And he points to Turnock. I will make this good with you. But, it's a life-threatening situation for me, and maybe I'm entitled to being a bit of an asshole while I'm kind of running for my life and trying to get you guys onto the right path. Cut me some slack. But 120th is fine.
So you get 100 guilders.
That's
There
good.
you go.
Not a problem. Appreciate it. Consultancy fee.
Exactly.
All right. Where are we going?
Well,
Arnok?
I
What's the
guess
first
it's a
thing
good
on our
as
list?
time as any to continue. Maybe we should just change from these clothes in case we get it.
So yes, we need to
Couple.
regather, and I thought this was going to take longer, so I didn't plan anything for tonight specifically. But we need to go back. We need to change into our normal clothing. And well, today's Sunday, and it's night already. It's a cold day. Perhaps the freelancers HQ can wait until tomorrow morning. I don't even think that they will be open at this point. So, well, it's Sunday night. I mean, is there any business that we are able to conduct in a Sunday night?
Well, freelancer HQ will be open for us. We are freelancers. If we need them to be open, they will be open. But at the same time, you might be right. Maybe
It's also not
people
that late yet, right? You guys were only there for about 40 minutes, so while the sun is starting to go down and get low in the sky, it's still before 5, essentially.
So I do believe it's appropriate that we get into, our normal clothing, and then we can head to the freelancer HQ and grab, and I am going to state this very emphatically with all of you, grab the last couple of missions or last mission for now, okay? Hold yourselves a little bit. Don't be so proactive. I now understand why people come to Postizia for work. It's so easy to find work here, but please refrain yourselves a little bit just because we are already way over our quota of things that we can handle in a timely manner. And eventually we're going to end up disappointing some of our contractors. So let's take it a little bit easier.
Should we go? Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Should we go to that other contract that we had and at least talk to them about it?
What, the murder?
No, this is about the missing husband.
Ah, the missing
Right.
husband. Yes, the missing husband.
Patrick Sordenbrand and his...
Tarnok says,
Wow.
yes, the missing husband scribes down. In the
yeah, but that's exactly what I'm doing.
Just as Turnock finishes saying, let's not take more missions.
Oh, we
Barney
already
says,
took this one.
Oh, yeah. Let's find
We already
out what
took
the
this one,
other
and
mission
then
was. Yeah.
they also made an appearance in the newspaper,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah, I
good.
read about that.
I mean,
Multiples,
we could keep
actually.
watch somewhere and see if we see any people trying to murder or any monsters.
Unless also,
Killings.
since we're already on the move, Remy, you think it's appropriate that we call on the DeLucas now?
I'd like some time to introduce the idea, and at least make sure Alphonse is waiting for you. Otherwise, they're
Yep.
not going to take kindly to showing up. They're a bit on
Makes
edge.
sense.
Lots on edge.
Understandably
Yeah.
so.
And he kind of looks at Turnock. If you think I was being an asshole, just, keep that temper down when you're around there, because Madame DeLuca, she's not interested in playing nice. I am. I'm just being... It's like I said, it's tense, but for her, it's always tense, and she's not looking to calm down.
I'm only entitled to be an asshole with you because you're friendly towards us. I know how to behave with people that can literally turn their weapons against us and kill us all. So I will keep my temper. Don't worry.
Yeah. I would never turn a weapon against you. And he just looks to Jean-Jacques and grins the widest grin, because he has a very different specialty.
Yeah. And, just Turnock's really on the edge with that amount of missions, right?
Mhm.
Like, as a good samurai, he's methodic with this shit. So it's this is too much. The amount of chaos that you guys bring to his life
Yeah.
can be too much.
Tarnak, did you write down that we have to go and see those ruins one of these days?
No, not that. So, actually, we are gonna have right now a rundown on everything that we need to do. Like really, because we need to decide what we are going to do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the ball. What needs to be done before the Equinical, and what can be done after the Equinical. This is the most important. What needs to be done? Information that we need to gather from what's the name of the family again? I'm sorry.
The DeLuca.
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 Mhm.
So we need to grab information on the DeLucas and we need to fulfill the contract for your cousin. So those are the yeah, it's the same quest actually. But those are the things that we need to procure before the Equinical. And also I would like to return to the brothel. And if you guys allow me, I'll return alone. Just because I do believe that it's the best interest of everybody that we actually divide a few tasks here and there because we need to straighten some things up and I need to talk to Clement, which was
Okay.
the boy who was there. So
You are not officially part of freelancers, right? Not yet.
no.
Yeah, I can go there
Mhm.
with another person. Like
Yeah.
two of us can go there, and then another two can go to Lord Storms and check up on that person because we told them that we were protecting them, if I'm right.
Don't we need
Indeed.
to find out any, I don't know, any leads about Lord Fennec's mission?
There's
I
also-
remember his wife told us about a guy who was at the hospital or something that knew who attacked him, accosted him.
Right.
Shouldn't
Well,
we
that might
investigate?
know. Yeah, and I hope that we can also discuss this with the Lucas if they know who might have been operating in the area, because that will point us at least in the direction of which criminal enterprise executed the attack, and then we can maybe find
So-
ways to interrogate.
So maybe
So-
hospital first.
I mean, that
Priorities. Does this
Yeah.
need to be done before the ball?
Yes.
Yes.
The ball is basically why we're going to the ball. What? No, the
Well, that's
Lord
why you were
Fennec's
going to the ball.
mission. Lord Fennec's mission is part of. What am I even saying? She's
That's
gonna
That's
You
why
were
we're
going
going
to
to
the
the
ball.
Equinical at
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
what I was
not
trying to
that's
say.
not why I am attending to that.
But that's what we were attending. because
Why
we
are
were
you
That's why
attending?
you're
find
able to
Lord
attend.
Fennec's situation. Yes.
Why are you go? I forgot. Oh no, I didn't. That's fine.
Oh, you definitely. I'm not going to spend another 20 minutes writing on my wall here about what I am going to do there.
All good.
One more thing that is perhaps not a must before the Equinical, but would potentially prove to be very beneficial, is if we dealt with the painting and the statue. I don't know,
The statue, yes.
Tally, where you're at with that, but
So you
if we
Kevin.
worked with the division,
The tense up.
yeah, if we work with the division for unusual circumstances or whatever the fuck their name is, I know it, but I can't remember from the top of my head. If we work with them and we enable them to further their investigation, I'm hoping that we can get a permit to carry our various accoutrements inside, because otherwise we would be going into the event as civilians without our various weapons and items, which I hope is absolutely fine, because I do not want to get in a situation where we have to pull our weapons at that place, because that's going to turn into an absolute clusterfuck if we do. But just in case, if something goes down and we need them, it's better to have them than miss them while we're there.
If I may, at this point, Jean-Jacques, as you're talking about this, you have a thought. None of the new magic items that you guys have acquired are registered with the proper authorities. You don't have permits, you don't have proof of ownership, you don't have anything. So,
Right.
just keep that in mind.
And we have to do that, right?
That would be appropriate, but the problem is you don't have, a sort of sort of receipt or whatever, proper documents, because especially with magic items, the more powerful, the more documents you have, they need to be approved, they need to be tested, they need to have been registered with not just the authorities, like as in the government, but also with the university, so that everything can be proofed and properly. So that's a process that take weeks with new items, and with yours, there's even a question of how you got them and whether that's legitimate.
Oh,
So I explained that.
Right, the university.
Right.
That can wait. Okay, the university.
That
can
doesn't
wait.
have to happen before. Yes, that
Yes.
can wait. I think it probably becomes even more important that we deliver to the division if we are able to, and if you're okay with it, Tani, because perhaps getting a permit with them we would be able to expedite the whole process.
Wait, Jean-Jacques, did you say that whatever statue thing, or was it someone else that said it? Was it like sending an expedition there? Like if we deal, do we get teleported somewhere? What was it?
Well, that's my assumption
Okay.
that we do.
Question:
And
if we
yeah.
do that, do we have a certain way of coming back until Wednesday?
well, that is a good question. And if we cooperate with the division for what is the full name, Kevin?
The Unusual Services Division.
Unusual Service.
USD.
If we cooperate with the USD, I'm hoping that we wouldn't be going in alone, and that by cooperating and assisting them, we might make sure that we have a way to return. At the very least. That is my hope. But
Let's then do this. Let's talk to them tomorrow and see if they have a way of bringing us back, even with their people, if we need to come back quick. If they don't, if there is no certain way to come back from wherever, if it's teleporting us, then we shouldn't do it before Wednesday.
agreed.
Can't we negotiate a way for them to give us a permit in exchange for any information that we might give them instead of me trying out the words? Because I don't.
Potentially.
I mean, I could reveal that I'm from. Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
In
negotiate.
exchange for a permit, maybe.
No, Tani, we can't do that. I don't think that's wise because we don't know. Well, I believe strongly that their reaction to that would not be beneficial.
Okay.
We can say that we've obtained the information, and we can give them all the information that you're willing to share, but I wouldn't reveal yourself to be a member or a former member. Because explaining to the government that you used to be a member of this particular society and are no longer hinges on them trusting you, and that trust might be paid with a lot of time spent in the interrogation chamber.
It's just that, well, if I need to, I know I will know the words. But I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I have to tell you, but not right now.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, it's the worst case scenario that we actually need our items and weapons, and since most of them, if not all of them, are not registered, that proves it will be very difficult.
Okay. So, at this point, you guys have been talking for a while, right? But I think the main point was to decide at least what you'll do next. For the evening, I think you want to go to the freelancers thing and something else.
Was it the hospital?
Please
may
do.
I intervene
Yeah.
real quick? I just had please correct me if there's something missing, because there probably is. But we need to go to the freelancers HQ and get to know the taskmaster and what you need from us. We need to look up on the missing husband, which is Patrick's sword something. Contract, and the Lord Fennec's contract that initiates by going to the hospital. There's the painting and the statue, so we need to contact Cadence. The murders in the newspapers, which we already we are also interested in looking out for those. So, and this would be nice to talk to the DeLucas about, because if there's some crimes happening, perhaps they would like to know more information on that as well. The thing about crime organization is that if there's someone who's actually committing crimes that are not them, they get jealous. So
asking about the murders helps with Basil's
Yeah.
big mission.
Yeah. So then there's DeLucas and JJ's cousin contract, and I stare Remy down. Protect you. What else?
That's right. Well, as a dungeon master, I have to intervene and also point out, I don't know if you mentioned the Aga's Hill, the town 2 days ride from Justitia.
That's
Mhm.
after the.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aga's Hill is the contract. It's Bezos' contract, right? So
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
put Bezos' contract in general here,
Okay.
because that's going to be a long one.
Then we have, and this is also after the event. We have the ruins.
The
The
ruins.
Dwarven ruins?
Yeah.
Ruins, okay.
Well, that should go after. Sorry, if you can just put Kor's father before that.
Yes.
Okay.
That should
Kor's
be
father
after
is
Kor's
another one?
because we'll be closer to that then.
Yeah.
Guys, question. Did I make my world too complex?
Oh, it's fun.
And
Everything's coming together.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
there's
listing.
also
I'm
there's
just
also
listing everything. Yes.
there's also one more thing, and that is finding. Let me tell
Nemo?
you exactly. Who? No.
Dory,
No. Hold on. Just a
Private
moment.
Ryan.
Please continue while I find it.
Finding Frodo?
So, but what I'm doing is that I'm listing everything, and we are going to do our business tonight. As usual, you're going to pick one of these tasks and go and pursue it. But as of tomorrow morning, when I have some time alone in privacy, I'm going to make a neat, organized schedule that I highly recommend that we follow. I know that this is hard, but it is important that we actually get to everything in a way that doesn't freak me out. Okay? So it is really important.
Found it. We need to find Mr. Johann Strauss.
Johann Strauss. Isn't that...
Yes.
This name rings a super bell on my mind. Like on
It's
players, Yeah.
compo-
Who is that?
It's a composer, right? Well, I don't know if
I
it's
think so.
Johann.
Strauss is definitely a very well-known
composer.
German name.
But that's-
No, is that there's this other...
Yeah.
Okay, Johann Strauss.
Johann Strauss is an Austrian composer.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
He's one of the good
we have to
Austrians.
Here we have to find them, but that can also wait after the ball.
Okay.
Why do I have to find them?
It's
After the ball,
after the
there's
ball.
also the Mage's Tower that we need to investigate, which was another quest from Appy.
That as well.
Not
The
Appy,
what?
But it's a quest from Basil to
Mage's
go to
Tower.
that tower and obtain something. I need to double check.
Mage's Tower. Okay.
Yeah, Mage's Tower.
And that's it.
That's it.
Well,
I'm starting to draft at the same time. I just listed everything, and it's literally this.
Okay.
This long. This is the amount of quests that we have right now.
it's
fine.
not all of them, but never mind.
Not all of them.
Okay, at this point, you probably have arrived at the Stormcore Tavern, so I'm imagining the scene as such. You've been talking about this the entire ride home. Turnog's been taking notes. You got inside, still talking, completely ignored Finn because you were so engrossed in the conversation. Upstairs, each of you is in a different room, shouting things, or, if it's secret, bringing it over quietly. Just like, half in clothes, half out of clothes, trying to change and bringing up new things that are being added to the list. And Turnog, like, you're changing clothes and making notes at the same time. It's quite a fun and hectic environment, I think.
Yeah. And I'm sketching a letter to the order. The Order of the Lost Heart, because I don't, there's KO, which is my master, but obviously both me and him, we all respond to the same person, which, well,
The Grandmaster, yeah.
Yeah. We still haven't come up with anything for that guy.
So you're not like an exile? I thought KO told you. I'm asking you as a
No,
player.
I'm an outlaw, but in
the country.
It's in the It's
Ooh.
for the eyes of the Order of the Closed Fist, actually.
I
Not
see. So the parent order, right?
No, more like the Grand Duke is the political authority, right? The Grand Duke, the Grand Duchy of Ostrozia, that's where he's an outlaw. That was, if Turnok shares this, indeed orchestrated by the Closed Fist, which currently kind of controls the court. And that is what's happening, but that doesn't mean, like, what you guys know of Ostrocian politics and traditions is that being declared an outlaw, instead of in Posticia where you're essentially literally outside of the law, in Ostrozia you're expected by honor to present yourself before the nearest authority. In this case, it would be the Grand Duke, in fact, to prostrate yourself and subject yourself to the law and the judgment of your betters.
I see.
But basically, the letter describes my findings so far, my current, where am I in to the based on the place that I set out from, and also detailing the fact that I'm not able to return home at the moment, but eventually I will face the consequences and I will present myself to court.
Do you mention
But
that you are with KO?
if I mention that I am with KO, or if I met with KO.
Yeah, if you are, whether you met or whether you are together now. So do you mention either
No,
of those?
yes. I mentioned briefly seeing Master KO during my
Okay.
my missions.
All right. Very good. So, with all that behind us, I mean, it is now 20 past 10, and considering that I think you guys only wanted to do the Freelancer HQ tonight, right?
Yeah.
Well, was that or the hospital? I'm not sure what we said in the end.
Well, you got the impression that, let's say, visiting hours at the hospital are probably
Are not
in the evening.
Yeah, so freelancers.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
freelancers.
probably around like 8. The sun is down. It's cold. It's starting to snow again. And as your carriage trundles onwards, let's say you pay another gold piece for this additional journey now, because you have been taking up quite a bit of time for this carriage. But for the whole group, it's it's not the most luxurious one. And you make it to the Freelancer HQ. Let me pull up my notes here. Oh my god, too many. Right, so you pull up to the Sleet Street Archive. It's formerly it was just literally an archive before it was occupied by the freelancers. It is colloquially now called the Vault, especially by freelancers themselves, because this is where every copy of every freelancer document in any city is sent. So, like, literally every contract, every employment record, every bit of information or knowledge is all stored here under very heavy magical protections. Other than that, though, the place is pretty deserted. Like, the taskmaster's there's maybe a few attendants and clerks, and that's it. When you guys come in, like, the front desk is empty. Immediately, you notice, because it's already quite late, but you guys make it in, probably with a password that you've learned for this location, which essentially just unlocks the door. So you can make it inside, and you see a fire burning in the next chamber behind the desk. And you deduce that probably there is someone who works here who's currently just kind of taking it easy just in case. Making your way through, you see sitting there, kind of half asleep, is a halfling with like a kind of a bad scar around his eye. It looks like it might have hurt the eye, you're not sure. Bald, and he's just kind of got his head on his chest. He looks a bit muscular, definitely, has a background in adventuring. And a very nice, heavy purple doublet on. And he's just kind of sitting in a chair, and it seems he was reading something, and he's just fallen asleep. Just kind of like... And as he does so, you see that his mouth opens a little bit, and you see a row of silver teeth. So, what do you say?
Wakey, wakey.
Oh, hey dudes. What's up? Oh, it's pretty late, huh? What are you guys doing? Oh, you must be folks I've been waiting for.
Ashen Hearts.
Right. Hearts. Good. He pushes himself up, and like you can tell he's elderly at this point, and you hear like multiple bones cracking in his body audibly as he stands up. And even when he stands, you know, like he's still significantly shorter than Barnack. Like he's probably shrunk with age at this point. But he kind of like puts his hands on his hips, stretches a little bit. Sorry, you know how it goes. Years go on, doesn't get any easier. What are you gonna do? Anyway, real nice to meet y'all. I don't know any of your names. I'm really sorry about that, but that's, you know, I don't want to get the ledger now. Who's in charge here? Because I need to speak with you. You.
Yeah.
And you are?
Barnack.
Barnack. Real nice to meet you. Ferdinand Silver. You probably knew, but anyway, I had a message for you guys because you picked up a contract, and he kind of like looks around, can't find what he's looking for, and then he looks at the table and there's like a stash of folders and paper, and he picks it up and he looks through. You picked up the Sword and Brand contract, right? They're asking for additional assistance immediately. Extra pay, 200 guilders per person. Ooh. Looks like your contract giver got into a little bit of trouble. Not sure what it is, but it's looking unpleasant. Might require immediate attention. I was actually hoping you would show up sooner, but I guess, you know, life's gonna do what life's gonna do. So I'm glad you're here now. You all look very healthy, by the way. That's always good. Not always the case with our type. But, yeah, there's an address here. And he quotes you an address, like, in the middle of Cat's-Eye West. Just in the middle of nowhere, in some of the slums. Looks like, Miss Sordenbrand and her, well, it was actually her, whatchamacallit, assistant, who came by and insisted I should tell you immediately. So of course I sent a letter, and here you are. So real good. And it was real adamant that you show up immediately because apparently she's been inconvenienced by, and he looks at his note. That can't be right. It says spiders from another dimension.
Spiders from another dimension.
That's what it says.
Nope.
No, Tarnok. Wait, Tarnok. That is what freelancers are for. Spiders from another dimension.
That's what it says. Looks like they're at the Weave Wills.
Stop smiling, Barnack. Just stop smiling.
No
It's
politics.
Not smiling.
No politics. No people to tell me what to do. Just monsters and killing.
He's just standing there, like, waiting for you guys to finish talking, and he goes on. They're at the Weave Wills Asylum. Oh, that's where... I read that in the newspaper. That's where some of those folks woke up. Anyway, pretty sure you might get a premium if you go out now, but I wouldn't blame you if you stayed the night and headed over in the morning.
Is it open? You think we can get there now?
It'll be open for you. You're freelancers.
Of course, we're freelancers. That's what I say. That's what I always say.
Of course you are.
Of course
Be
we
proud
are.
of what you are.
We are.
Good.
I turn to Barnack in Dwarvish, and I say I'm too old for this shit. In Dwarvish.
He follows up. Silver follows up in Dwarvish. Hey guys, what are we talking about?
Family stuff.
Oh, I apologize.
I speak in Aaron, and I just say, I don't know what your guys are talking about, but it sounds cool. And I'm just like, I guess it's just the wind coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's just like... he just kind of looks at you.
Jean-Jacques?
So it's like, you alright?
Yeah, I thought we're just showing off speaking different languages, so.
Oh
thought
no,
I'd
I
do
was
it.
just trying to, keep up with dwarf and tall dwarf over here. He looks up. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize."
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very dark in here.
Taskmaster's-
Okay.
Taskmaster Silver will get right on that. May I call you
Excellent.
something else?
Sorry,
Is it Taskmaster Silver or something else? Should we call you
Mr.
something
Silver's fine. I know most of my
Meh.
colleagues prefer Taskmaster, but I find
Yeah,
it a
Mr.
little
Silver.
formal.
I have a personal request to get into the vault. Would that
Okay.
be possible?
Sure. You'll have to fill out the proper forms, but yeah, that's not a problem. Someone if
Okay.
you're particularly moral, upstanding type, whatever. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah. Perfect.
He
Okay.
gets lost in the middle and just gives up.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hold on, I'll grab the forms for you, and then you can be on your way to the asylum. And he just goes into like a filing cabinet and like, kind of like halfway through, you realize he's just standing still, and he fell asleep in the middle, and you think, well, grabs a form.
As he does so, I just look at Turnock and the rest, and like, perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. We went to the freelancers. Now we take care of Lady Sortenbrand tonight. 1 day, 2 things. Cross off the list.
What do you mean 2? We already went to your thing.
Here you go.
That's 3 things.
I meant after the list was compiled.
Here you go,
Okay.
Mr. Smaller Dwarf.
Yeah.
That's your
I turn
form.
to Jean-Jacques. I'm sorry. Just you can proceed. I
He
can
just
say
says,
afterwards.
there's your form. Just get it back to me when you want access to the vault, and I'll file it, and you'll have to wait 30 minutes to get it approved, and then you can get in. Make sure you come early. I don't fancy staying up late just to indulge you, but other than that, you're free to enter whenever you want.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
that
you very
everything?
much. For
That's
now,
everything.
yes, we'll be back when we
Well,
finish this.
actually, 1 second, and I turn to Turnock, and I just lean in and I say, when I worked with them for the first time, we had to do like a provisional freelance association type of thing to make it official. Would you be opposed to just being part-time associated with the freelancers just to make sure that all the documentation is in place so that we don't get into trouble because of it? Because technically,
Actually, politically speaking, I have no clue. I haven't put a
You
single
absolutely
thought
can. The
into that.
freelancers, they mainly care about just having it on register.
I just say like technically you wouldn't be entitled to any of the rewards. We would of course I think share. That's not a problem, but bureaucracy in the Republic's a real big thing. So I think that if we don't have you officially on the ledger, it might prove problematic in the future. So
Nah, don't worry. I don't want anything to get in our way.
That's a
Right.
smart gentleman, because if you go and waving around your freelancer badge and one of you is not a freelancer, that's going to turn out real bad for you. All right, I'll get the provisional whatever. I'll get the form, and he heads back, and it takes another 5 minutes, and he gets you the form. You can fill it out. You can get Turnock essentially signed up as a provisional freelancer, which does indeed not entitle you to any rewards. But the parties, obviously, at their discretion, can choose to share with you what they deem is appropriate, and at the same time, it does allow you to act in the capacity of a freelancer, which is some additional freedoms and responsibilities within the Republic.
deputize.
So, having deputized Turnock, you guys set out for the Weave Wills Asylum, and that's where we'll pick it up next time when we play again.
Nice.
Hey.
Nice.
And I just turn to them and I say, "There's interdimensional spiders listed in my notes.
Perfect.
This is absolutely insane. You guys
No,
are
that's-
crazy."
That is good, Tarnok. Listen,
Rub
with
my hands
spiders,
together, then my robe, and like I am ready.
with spiders, Tarnok, you don't have to ask questions. You can finish the spiders quickly. Or they finish you quickly, but it's not complicated.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for playing. If anyone was watching, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be here again next week with more of this game.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Carlos. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.